It was supposed to be one of Hollywood's most stable love stories. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, the pop icon and the movie heartthrob, together for years, raising a beautiful daughter, and constantly showing up hand in hand on red carpets, looking as in love as ever. But behind the glitter and Instagram perfect smiles, something darker may have been brewing, something that no one saw coming. Or maybe, just maybe, they did. Rumors exploded online when a blind item from a notorious gossip blog hinted that an A-list engaged couple was on the rocks because of the man's closeness with a younger co-star. At first, fans brushed it off as just another baseless tabloid tease. But then the pieces began to fall into place. Orlando Bloom had been filming a major streaming project alongside none other than Sydney Sweeney. Young, rising fast, and very familiar with drama, Katy Perry's fans, known as Katy Cats, are fiercely loyal and have always kept an eye out for anything that could hurt their queen. And when photos began circulating of Orlando and Sydney laughing a little too hard on set, lingering a little too close, alarm bells started ringing. At first, Katy said nothing, but that changed very quickly, and when it did, Hollywood paused to listen. According to sources close to the singer, Katy confronted Orlando privately after a string of late-night shoot delays and unexplained absences. She had tried to stay cool, supportive, understanding, but the last straw came when she received a series of anonymous DMs, one of which included a blurry but intimate image of Orlando with someone who looked suspiciously like Sydney Sweeney alone together, late at night, in a trailer. Katy, never one to make public scenes, reportedly broke down in tears during a dinner with friends in Los Angeles. One of those friends, who spoke under condition of anonymity, told a celebrity blog that Katy was devastated, blindsided, and angry. She felt betrayed, and not just by Orlando, but by the fact that Sydney had once been on her radar as someone she supported and liked. A few days later, Katy posted a cryptic message on Instagram, just a black square with white text that read, "Loyalty isn't tested when everything is perfect. It's tested when you're not watching." The post was deleted within an hour, but not before fans screenshot it and sent the internet into full meltdown mode. It trended on Twitter within 30 minutes. Hashtag KatyDeservesBetter was suddenly everywhere. Orlando Bloom's team, when contacted by press, initially dismissed everything as gossip-fueled fiction. "There is absolutely no truth to these claims," said a representative. But Katy's silence spoke louder than any denial. She stopped appearing at events with Orlando. She skipped a major gala where they were both scheduled to walk the carpet, and fans noticed she had quietly removed several recent photos of them together from her Instagram. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney was off promoting her new movie, smiling wide and dodging every question about Orlando with the same generic line, "He's an incredible actor. I learned a lot from working with him." But the tension was becoming impossible to ignore. Paparazzi started tailing her every move. She was spotted leaving a restaurant alone in West Hollywood looking tense and visibly shaken after what onlookers claimed was a heated phone call. Was it with Orlando? Or Katy? Then, the alleged smoking gun emerged. TMZ published a photo that sent shockwaves across the industry. It showed Orlando and Sydney sitting together on a park bench, both in casual clothes, her head leaning on his shoulder. No film crew in sight. No set around. Just the two of them. The article claimed the photo was taken on a day off from filming. Sydney's team responded with a vague statement saying they were simply reviewing lines between scenes. But fans weren't buying it. And Katy certainly didn't look like she was either. A source close to Katy finally spoke to the press. She feels humiliated. This was the man she wanted to marry, the father of her child. She's trying to keep things together for their daughter's sake. But she's not pretending anymore. Another insider added, "Katy has always been strong, but this cut her deeply. She didn't think she'd ever have to go through this kind of heartbreak again." The betrayal stung even more because of Katy's history. She's been through public heartbreak before, most notably with Russell Brand, who allegedly ended their marriage via text. The pain of that experience shaped her next chapter, and she had believed that with Orlando, she'd found something real, something lasting. That's why the whispers of cheating didn't just make headlines, they cracked the foundation of her trust. While Katy remained publicly silent, the industry began to speculate, were wedding plans off? Insiders confirmed that the couple had already been making arrangements for a low-key ceremony in California later this year. But suddenly, vendors were being told to pause everything. One even confirmed that their deposit was returned. That alone spoke volumes. Fans began dissecting interviews from recent months. One resurfaced clip showed Orlando praising Sydney's bright energy during a press junket. The way he looked at her, the way she laughed, it all now felt like foreshadowing. Other fans pointed out that Katy hadn't worn her engagement ring in weeks, a subtle but clear sign that something had shifted. As pressure mounted, Sydney Sweeney went off-grid. She canceled a live Q&A and postponed a magazine shoot. Her team claimed it was due to exhaustion, but many saw it as an effort to avoid facing the music. A viral TikTok showing her looking distressed in her car only fueled speculation. Comment sections exploded. Some defended her, saying the story was being blown out of proportion. Others called her a home wrecker. Orlando, for his part, finally addressed the rumors in a brief paparazzi encounter outside his gym. When asked if he cheated on Katy with Sydney, he laughed nervously and said, "Come on, man. Don't believe everything you read." But that wasn't a denial, and too many. It didn't feel like honesty either. Things escalated further when Katy unfollowed both Orlando and Sydney on Instagram. That move sent fans into a frenzy. Screenshots went viral within minutes. Even other celebrities started quietly picking sides. Some dropped supportive comments under Katy's latest post. Others went silent. The divide was becoming real. Then came the most explosive twist. An insider claimed that Katy had confronted Sydney directly. The alleged confrontation happened at a private event. Eyewitnesses say it was tense, but quiet, with Katy pulling Sydney aside for a short, serious talk. No screaming, no tears, but a moment that left Sydney pale and shaken. What was said in that exchange remains a mystery, but the aftermath was crystal clear. Sydney went radio silent. Katy posted a fierce photo in a bold red outfit with the caption, "Try me," and Orlando, nowhere to be seen. Despite everything, Katy's focus has remained on her daughter. She's been spotted taking long walks, doing school drop-offs, and spending time with close friends. If she's heartbroken, she's carrying it with dignity. Still, the cracks are visible. The warmth she once showed toward Orlando seems to have vanished overnight. As for Orlando and Sydney, no public appearances together since the photo scandal. Whatever connection they had seems to be costing them more than they imagined. Reputations are on the line. Careers could be affected. And the trust of fans is already shaken. What happens next remains to be seen. Will Katy and Orlando attempt to patch things up for the sake of their child? Or is this the beginning of a painful, very public split? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: when Katy Perry makes a claim, the world listens. And this time, the truth might be uglier than anyone expected. Like this video if you believe Katy deserves better. Drop a comment and tell us, do you think Orlando really cheated? And was Sydney Sweeney crossing a line? Subscribe to the Celebs Empire for more explosive Hollywood updates you won't hear anywhere else. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned.